Ladies and gentlemen, life is hard. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you dream of becoming, one thing is certain. You will face challenges. But let me tell you a truth that will change your life. You have the power to choose your hard. Marriage is hard. Divorce is hard. Being fit is hard. Being unhealthy is hard. Pursuing your purpose is hard. Living without purpose is hard. Building wealth is hard. Struggling financially is hard. You must choose your hard. The mistake many people make is seeking the path of least resistance. But what you avoid today will confront you tomorrow. You cannot escape hardship, only trade it for another. The question is, will you choose the hard that leads to fulfillment or the hard that leads to regret? Look at the greatest leaders, visionaries, and world changers. None of them had it easy. They endured rejection, opposition, and trials, but they understood a powerful truth. Pain with purpose is better than comfort without meaning. The struggle of discipline may be painful, but the weight of mediocrity is unbearable. The burden of responsibility may feel heavy, but the regret of wasted potential is heavier. You have been given the power to choose. Choose the hard that builds you, not the hard that breaks you. Even faith requires endurance. The road to purpose is paved with trials, but those who endure will see the fulfillment of what they were born to do. Your destiny is on the other side of your decision. So I leave you with this. Don't run from difficulty. Don't seek the easy way out. Choose your hard wisely and watch how God uses it to shape you into the person you were created to be. Life is full of challenges. From the moment we are born, we are introduced to a world of struggles, choices, and obstacles. Challenges are not selective. They do not discriminate based on background, status, or ambition. They are a part of the human experience, shaping who we become and determining the course of our lives. Some challenges arise unexpectedly, catching us off guard, while others are the result of our own decisions. Regardless of their origin, challenges demand a response, and how we handle them defines our journey. Difficulties come in many forms: physical, emotional, financial, relational, and spiritual. Some people wrestle with health battles, fighting to maintain their well-being against the odds. Others struggle with the weight of financial burdens, wondering how they will make ends meet. Many face internal conflicts, battling self-doubt, fear, and insecurity, unsure if they have what it takes to succeed. Relationships, too, bring their own set of trials. Friendships can be tested, marriages can experience strain, and families can face divisions that seem impossible to mend. The reality of life is that no one is exempt from hardship. Even those who appear successful, confident, or strong have their own silent battles. The entrepreneur who built an empire once struggled with failure. The leader who inspires millions once faced rejection. The person who seems at peace once endured seasons of deep turmoil. Every person carries a story of challenges that shaped them, refined them, and pushed them toward growth. Challenges serve a purpose. Though they often bring pain and discomfort, they also carry the potential for transformation. Hardships test our resilience, stretch our endurance, and force us to develop strength we never knew we had. They separate those who settle from those who rise, those who quit from those who persevere. Growth is not found in ease, but in overcoming resistance. The strongest trees grow in the harshest winds, and the greatest individuals are shaped in the fires of adversity. One of the greatest misconceptions is that avoiding challenges will lead to a better life. Many spend their time running from hardship, seeking comfort and avoiding difficult decisions, but in doing so, they only invite another kind of struggle, the struggle of stagnation, unfulfilled potential, and regret. No one can escape difficulty. They can only choose the kind of difficulty they're willing to face. The student who refuses to study will face the challenge of failure. The worker who avoids responsibility will face the struggle of missed opportunities. The person who neglects relationships will eventually deal with the pain of loneliness. Every path has its challenges. The key is to choose the challenges that align with a greater purpose. Life's trials often come disguised as barriers, but they are in fact opportunities in disguise. Within every challenge lies the potential for growth, discovery, and breakthroughs. Some of the greatest inventions, movements, and successes were birthed from adversity. The difference between those who rise and those who fall is perspective. Whether they see challenges as obstacles or as stepping stones. Endurance is necessary because challenges are not always brief. Some struggles last for days, others for years. But those who persist, who refuse to be defeated, and who embrace the process of growth will find themselves transformed. Struggles refine character, teach wisdom, and build the inner strength needed to sustain success. The trials of today are the preparation for the victories of tomorrow. No one chooses the presence of challenges, but everyone can choose their response to them. The person who decides to face their difficulties with courage, faith, and determination will emerge stronger, wiser, and more equipped for the next season of life. Struggles are not meant to destroy, they are meant to develop. The key is to embrace them, learn from them, and allow them to shape a greater version of oneself. Comfort is deceptive because it gives the illusion of security while often leading to stagnation. It is natural for people to seek comfort, whether in their routines, relationships, careers, or way of thinking. Comfort provides a sense of stability, a feeling that everything is in place and nothing needs to change. But beneath this surface of ease lies a hidden danger, the slow erosion of growth, ambition, and potential. When people settle into comfort, they tend to resist change. The desire to avoid discomfort keeps them from taking risks, learning new skills, or stepping into unfamiliar territory. They tell themselves that they are content, that they have enough, that they do not need to push any further. But in reality, what feels like peace is often disguised complacency. Growth requires movement, and comfort tempts people to remain still. One of the most deceptive aspects of comfort is that it does not always appear harmful. It does not come with an immediate cost. Rather, it silently drains away progress over time. A person who stops challenging themselves physically may not feel the effects right away, but years down the line, their health will show the consequences. A professional who remains in a job that no longer challenges them may not feel dissatisfied at first, but eventually they may realize they have missed opportunities for advancement. A relationship that avoids difficult conversations may seem peaceful, but unresolved issues will eventually create distance. Comfort creates a false sense of success. It makes people believe they have arrived when in reality they have only settled. It convinces them that they are safe when in truth they may be drifting further from their potential. The greatest dangers in life often come not from external attacks, but from internal ease. Nations, businesses, and individuals who grow too comfortable often decline because they stop adapting, stop innovating, and stop striving for more. History has shown that empires crumble not at the height of struggle, but in the midst of their comfort, when they assume their position is secure. Another layer of deception that comfort brings is the avoidance of pain. Many believe that by choosing an easy path, they can escape hardship. But hardship is not something that can be avoided. It can only be delayed or exchanged. The person who avoids the discomfort of discipline will face the pain of regret. The one who refuses to endure the challenge of change will experience the consequences of being unprepared. The weight of stagnation is heavier than the burden of effort. But comfort blinds people from seeing this reality until it is too late. Comfort also limits vision. When people are too comfortable, they stop dreaming beyond their current situation. They become content with what they have and lose the hunger for greater things. Dreams require discomfort because they demand effort, risk, and persistence. The mind that settles into comfort stops imagining possibilities, stops believing in more, and stops pursuing what could be. Let's become creative in your chopping the farther from your dreams. If it lasts a day, it probably lasts a lifetime. Perhaps the most dangerous deception of comfort is that it whispers, "You have time." It convinces people that they can stay where they are a little longer, that they can pursue their dreams later, that they can push themselves tomorrow. But time does not wait. The opportunities of today may not be there tomorrow. The doors that are open now may close if not walked through. Comfort tricks people into thinking they are standing still when, in reality, they are falling behind. Those who remain in comfort too long often wake up one day and realize they are not where they thought they would be. They look back and see wasted time, unfulfilled potential, and missed moments that cannot be recovered. They see that comfort did not protect them. It only delayed them from reaching what was possible. Purpose demands sacrifice. The cost of purpose. Every great achievement comes with a price, and purpose is no exception. To live a life of true meaning, one must be willing to give up certain comforts, habits, and sometimes even relationships. Purpose is not a pursuit of convenience. It is a journey that requires dedication, endurance, and sacrifice. Many people desire success, fulfillment, and impact, but few are willing to pay the price that comes with it. The reality is that purpose is costly, and those who are unwilling to make sacrifices will never fully realize their potential. Sacrificing comfort for growth. One of the first sacrifices required on the path to purpose is comfort. Growth does not happen in places of ease. Those who choose purpose must be willing to leave behind familiar environments, predictable routines, and the safety of what they already know. This could mean stepping into uncertainty, taking risks, and embracing challenges that stretch their abilities. It is in discomfort that people discover new strengths, develop new skills, and prepare for the opportunities ahead. Throughout history, every great leader, innovator, and visionary had to make difficult choices that required them to leave behind comfort for the sake of a greater calling. Whether it was Abraham leaving his homeland, Moses stepping into leadership despite his fears, or modern entrepreneurs sacrificing stability to build something new, purpose always demands a willingness to embrace the unknown. Letting go of short-term pleasures. Another sacrifice required for purpose is the letting go of short-term pleasures in exchange for long-term fulfillment. Many people fail to achieve their goals, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they prioritize immediate gratification over lasting impact. They choose entertainment over education, distractions over discipline, and ease over. But those who truly desire to fulfill their purpose must be willing to delay gratification, to say no to temporary pleasures in order to build something greater. Athletes sacrifice leisure time to train. Scholars sacrifice distractions to study. Entrepreneurs sacrifice financial security to invest in their dreams. Every achievement requires a trade-off, and those who are unwilling to make that trade remain stuck in mediocrity. The weight of responsibility. Purpose is not only about what one gains, but also about what one carries. A life of significance comes with responsibility. Responsibility to serve, to lead, to inspire, and to remain accountable for the gifts and opportunities given. Many people want influence, but few are willing to bear the weight that comes with it. Leadership requires making tough decisions. Service demands selflessness. Success comes with expectations. To walk in purpose means accepting the burdens that come with the blessings. Some people run from their purpose because they fear the sacrifices it demands. They hesitate to take on the weight of responsibility, preferring instead to live in the shadows of their potential. But avoiding responsibility does not eliminate it. It only delays the inevitable realization that purpose was meant to be embraced, not ignored. Sacrificing old mindsets. Fulfilling purpose also requires the sacrifice of limiting beliefs. Many people are held back not by external circumstances, but by internal fears, doubts, and negative thought patterns. To step into purpose, one must be willing to unlearn fear, to let go of insecurities, and to replace self-doubt with faith. This means no longer settling for a mindset of excuses. It means refusing to be held back by past failures or the opinions of others. It requires choosing growth over stagnation and faith over fear. Those who are willing to sacrifice old ways of thinking open themselves to new levels of possibility. The reward of sacrifice. Though the road to purpose is costly, the reward is far greater than the sacrifice. A life of impact, fulfillment, and significance is worth every moment of discomfort, every hour of hard work, and every decision to choose purpose over convenience. The pain of sacrifice is temporary, but the regret of an unfulfilled life lasts forever. The question is not whether purpose requires sacrifice. The question is whether one is willing to make that sacrifice. Those who are ready to pay the price will discover that in giving up lesser things, they gain something far greater, a life that truly matters. Success and failure are both hard because each comes with its own set of challenges, struggles, and sacrifices. Many people believe that success is the easier path, but the reality is that it demands effort, discipline, and resilience. On the other hand, failure is difficult in its own way. It carries disappointment, regret, and the burden of unfulfilled potential. No one escapes hardship. They only choose the form in which they will experience it. The pursuit of success is demanding. It requires waking up early, staying up late, making sacrifices, and pushing beyond comfort. It involves enduring criticism, overcoming self-doubt, and persisting through setbacks. The road to success is filled with obstacles: financial struggles, rejection, delayed gratification, and unexpected challenges. Every successful person has faced moments when giving up seemed like the easier option. But those who choose to endure and keep moving forward eventually reach their goals. Hard work is exhausting. There are days when motivation fades, when progress feels slow, and when results are not immediate. Discipline is painful because it forces individuals to do what is necessary rather than what is convenient. The student who studies late into the night, the athlete who trains through exhaustion, and the entrepreneur who takes risks and faces uncertainty all experience the difficulty of success. There are times of isolation where the journey feels lonely, and moments of doubt where fear whispers that the effort may not be worth it. Yet, failure is equally hard. It carries a different kind of burden, the weight of missed opportunities, unrealized dreams, and living below one's potential. The person who avoids challenges because they're difficult eventually faces a greater difficulty, the pain of regret. Procrastination may seem easy in the moment, but the long-term consequences are far more painful. Avoiding effort leads to stagnation, and stagnation leads to frustration. Living without purpose is hard. Waking up every day feeling unfulfilled, watching others achieve their dreams while remaining stuck, and knowing deep inside that more was possible but not pursued, this is its own form of suffering. The mind is not at peace when it knows that talent was wasted, that time was not used wisely, and that fear or laziness prevented progress. The discomfort of discipline is nothing compared to the agony of looking back on life and wishing for another chance. Failure is not just about external circumstances. It is also about mindset. People who fear failure often avoid taking risks. But in doing so, they still experience hardship, just in a different way. They deal with self-doubt, insecurity, and the frustration of watching time pass without progress. The person who never applies for the job, never starts the business, never makes the effort to grow, They may avoid immediate struggle, but they still face the difficulty of feeling stuck and unaccomplished. Even those who have failed and refuse to rise again face a hard reality. Failure carries consequences. Broken dreams, lost confidence, and the challenge of rebuilding. Some choose to stay down because getting back up seems too difficult. But in doing so, they remain in a cycle of hardship, living with the weight of unrealized potential. Both paths require endurance. The person who chooses success endures the difficulty of growth, while the person who avoids success endures the hardship of regret. The choice is never between hard and easy. It is always between different types of hard. One path leads to achievement and fulfillment, while the other leads to frustration and unfulfilled dreams. No one escapes the challenge. They only choose which version of it they are willing to face. Growth requires discomfort because progress is never made in places of ease. Every stage of development, whether physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, demands a level of stretching beyond what is familiar. The human tendency is to seek stability and avoid pain. Yet real transformation only happens when there is resistance, challenge, and struggle. Nothing strong is built without pressure, and nothing great is achieved without enduring difficulty. In the physical world, growth is evident in the way the body develops. Muscles strengthen only when they are torn and rebuilt through exercise. Without resistance, they remain weak and undeveloped. A seed must push through the dirt to become a tree, breaking past the darkness and the weight of the soil to reach the light. The same principle applies to personal growth. Those who avoid discomfort remain stagnant, never realizing their full potential. The discomfort of learning is another necessary aspect of growth. Gaining new knowledge, mastering new skills, and developing wisdom all require struggle. The student who pushes through long hours of study experiences frustration but gains understanding. The entrepreneur who faces uncertainty and risks failure learns valuable lessons that pave the way for success. Those who refuse to step beyond their current knowledge and skills remain trapped in the limitations of their past. Growth demands the willingness to endure the discomfort of not knowing, of making mistakes, and of feeling inadequate before mastery is achieved. Emotionally, growth requires facing difficult truths. It means confronting fears, healing from past wounds, and allowing oneself to be vulnerable. Many people resist emotional discomfort, avoiding deep conversations, ignoring personal issues, and suppressing emotions rather than processing them. Yet, healing and maturity come from facing those uncomfortable moments. Uncertainty shuts down the unseen. That means that over the course of time, certainty opens up. The person who avoids self-reflection remains stuck in the same patterns, while the one who embraces the discomfort of change experiences transformation. Relationships also require discomfort for growth. Love, trust, and deep connections are strengthened not in moments of ease, but in overcoming challenges together. Conflict, misunderstandings, and difficult conversations are necessary to build stronger bonds. Avoiding tough discussions only leads to surface-level relationships, but those who embrace the discomfort of honesty, accountability, and forgiveness develop deeper and more meaningful connections. In the pursuit of purpose, discomfort is unavoidable. The journey toward fulfilling one's potential is filled with obstacles, failures, and moments of doubt. Those who achieve greatness are not the ones who avoided struggle, but the ones who persevered through it. Fear of discomfort keeps many from stepping into their calling, but those who embrace the process discover new levels of strength, resilience, and capability. Discomfort is the price of progress. It is a necessary force that moves people beyond their limitations and into greater possibilities. Without it, growth remains an idea rather than a reality. Those who understand its value do not run from it. They lean into it, knowing that every moment of struggle is shaping them into something better. Decisions shape destiny, because every choice made, whether big or small, moves a person closer to success or failure, growth or stagnation, fulfillment or regret. Life is not shaped by circumstances alone, but by the decisions made in response to them. Every action, every word spoken, and every step taken sets the course for the future. Well, from the moment a person wakes up, decisions begin to unfold. Some choices seem insignificant: what to eat, what to wear, how to spend time. But over time, these small decisions accumulate and determine habits, character, and direction. Other choices are weightier: what career to pursue, whom to marry, what values to uphold to consummate delivery. These defining moments have the power to alter the course of a life forever. Decisions determine success. No one accidentally becomes great. They make intentional choices that lead them there. The decision to work hard, to remain disciplined, to invest in personal growth, and to persist through challenges paves the way for achievement. Many desire success, but are unwilling to make the sacrifices required to attain it. Yet every successful person, whether in business, sports, or leadership, has made decisions that position them for excellence. On the other hand, poor decisions lead to destruction. The wrong choice may not seem significant at the moment, but over time it creates patterns that lead to regret. The decision to ignore responsibility, to indulge in distractions, or to take shortcuts eventually catches up. Many failures in life are not caused by a lack of opportunity, but by a series of small, unwise choices that led to missed potential. Character is built through decisions. Choosing integrity over dishonesty, humility over pride, and patience over haste shapes the kind of person one becomes. Every decision reflects values, priorities, and beliefs. The person who consistently chooses discipline becomes disciplined. The one who chooses excuses becomes stagnant. The sum of these choices forms identity, and identity determines destiny. Relationships are also shaped by decisions. The choice to communicate, to forgive, to invest time, and to nurture connections determines the strength of bonds. Many broken relationships are not the result of one major event, but of small daily choices to neglect, ignore, or take for granted. Likewise, strong relationships are built through consistent decisions to love, respect, and support one another. Every decision carries consequences. Some choices open doors to new opportunities, while others close them forever. The weight of decision making is not to be taken lightly, because a single choice can alter the direction of a life. The choice to walk away from an unhealthy situation, to start a new journey, or to embrace a challenge can lead to transformation. At the same time, the choice to compromise values, to delay action, or to surrender to fear can lead to years of regret. Opportunities are often disguised as decisions. Many people wait for a breakthrough, unaware that their next choice could be the key to unlocking it. The decision to take a risk, to pursue a dream, or to step out in faith can change everything. Those who hesitate, waiting for the perfect moment, often find themselves stuck, while those who choose to move forward create their own path. Destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a result of choices. Every person has the power to determine their future by the decisions they make today. The question is never whether decisions will shape destiny, but whether one will make choices that lead toward purpose, growth, and fulfillment, or toward regret, stagnation, and loss. Avoidance is an illusion because it creates the false belief that ignoring a problem will make it disappear. Many people avoid difficult conversations, uncomfortable emotions, or challenging responsibilities, thinking that by doing so, they can escape discomfort. However, avoidance does not eliminate issues. It only delays them, allowing them to grow in the shadows until they become even more difficult to face. Fear often drives avoidance. The fear of failure causes people to delay pursuing their goals. The fear of rejection makes them hesitate to express their true feelings. The fear of conflict leads them to ignore problems in relationships. But avoiding these fears does not remove them. It only gives them more power. Problems do not vanish simply because they are ignored. They fester, multiply, and eventually demand attention in ways that are far more difficult to handle than if they had been confronted earlier. Emotional avoidance is one of the most deceptive forms of this illusion. Many people suppress painful experiences, thinking that if they do not acknowledge them, they will not feel the pain. But buried emotions do not stay hidden forever. They manifest in unexpected ways, through anxiety, stress, unhealthy behaviors, or strained relationships. Healing requires facing pain, not avoiding it. What is not addressed internally will eventually surface externally. Avoidance also affects personal growth. Many avoid taking risks because they fear discomfort or uncertainty. They convince themselves that staying where they are is safer than stepping into the unknown. But in reality, stagnation is far more dangerous than risk. Growth only happens when challenges are embraced, and avoiding them only leads to missed opportunities. Those who refuse to take action out of fear eventually realize that life has passed them by while they remain stuck in hesitation. Avoidance creates distance. Instead of addressing misunderstandings, people often ignore them, hoping they will resolve on their own. Instead of confronting issues, they remain silent, thinking that avoiding conflict is the same as maintaining peace. But silence does not resolve problems, it deepens them. The more people avoid communication, the more resentment, confusion, and emotional disconnection build up. True connection requires honesty, and avoiding difficult conversations only weakens the foundation of relationships. Avoiding responsibility is another deceptive illusion. Many believe that by not making a choice, they are escaping the burden of consequences. But inaction is also a decision, and it comes with its own consequences. Ignoring financial problems does not make them go away. It only leads to deeper debt. Avoiding personal development does not prevent failure. It only guarantees that one remains unprepared for future challenges. The longer responsibility is avoided, the heavier the burden becomes when it can no longer be ignored. Procrastination is one of the most common forms of avoidance. People delay pursuing their dreams, convincing themselves that the perfect time will come later. They postpone important decisions, believing they will feel more ready in the future. But time does not wait, and opportunities do not last forever. What is avoided today often turns into regret tomorrow. Those who refuse to face reality eventually find themselves forced to deal with the consequences of their avoidance, often under far worse circumstances. Avoidance is deceptive because it offers temporary relief. In the moment, it feels easier to ignore something rather than confront it. But in the long run, avoidance only leads to greater stress, deeper struggles, and lost time. Facing difficulties head-on may be uncomfortable, but it is the only path to growth, resolution, and true freedom. The sooner one confronts reality, the sooner they take control of their life and move forward with clarity and strength. The weight of responsibility and the burden of regret are both heavy, but one leads to fulfillment while the other leads to sorrow. Responsibility requires effort, discipline, and sacrifice, while regret carries the pain of missed opportunities, wasted potential, and unfulfilled purpose. Every person must choose which weight they are willing to carry, because neither can be avoided. Responsibility is demanding. It requires making tough decisions, staying committed to goals, and being accountable for actions. It often means working when others are resting, staying disciplined when distractions are tempting, and making sacrifices that are not always immediately rewarded. Those who embrace responsibility understand that success, growth, and purpose come at a cost. They willingly carry the weight, knowing that their future depends on the choices they make today. Businesses are being broken. The weight of responsibility is often uncomfortable. It requires waking up early, pushing through challenges, and refusing to settle for mediocrity. Leaders must make decisions that impact others. Parents must provide and guide, and individuals must take charge of their own lives. Responsibility means owning mistakes instead of blaming others, staying focused when the path is unclear, and continuing forward even when results are slow. It is not easy, but it builds strength, character, and confidence. On the other hand, the burden of regret is far heavier. It carries the pain of looking back and wishing things had been different. It is the weight of knowing that fear, procrastination, or complacency held back potential. It is the realization that opportunities were ignored, relationships were neglected, or dreams were abandoned. Unlike responsibility, which is proactive and within one's control, regret often feels irreversible. Regret lingers. It follows in moments of silence, in thoughts of what could have been, and in the realization that time cannot be rewound. It brings emotional and mental torment, making people wonder how their lives might have been different if they had made better choices. The burden of regret is often greater than the weight of responsibility, because while responsibility can lead to achievement and peace, regret leaves emptiness and longing for a second chance that may never come. While responsibility may feel heavy in the present, it eventually leads to reward. It brings the satisfaction of knowing that every effort, every sacrifice, and every challenge faced had a purpose. It builds a legacy, creates opportunities, and ensures that the future is not left to chance. Regret, however, offers nothing but sorrow. It does not create growth or provide a sense of accomplishment. It only reminds people of what they lost. The choice is not between carrying a burden or living free of one. It is between carrying the weight of responsibility today or the burden of regret tomorrow. Those who choose responsibility embrace the challenges of the present for the sake of a meaningful future, while those who avoid it eventually face the pain of knowing they could have done more. The weight of responsibility is temporary, but the burden of regret lasts a lifetime. Hardships refine character. The forge of adversity. Hardships are not merely obstacles to be avoided. They are the very crucibles in which character is refined. Like metal that must be heated and hammered to take shape, a person's character is shaped and strengthened through adversity. Challenges, whether external or internal, force individuals to confront their limitations, fears, and weaknesses. Through this process, they are molded into more resilient, compassionate, and capable versions of themselves. Every person faces hardships in life, whether it's personal loss, financial struggle, health issues, or relationship challenges. While these difficulties may seem unbearable in the moment, they provide opportunities for growth. Without hardship, there would be no need for growth. Without struggle, there would be no development of resilience or strength. Every difficulty carries with it a lesson that, if learned, enriches a person's character. Resilience in the face of adversity. One of the most important qualities that hardships cultivate is resilience. In the face of adversity, some people break, but others rise stronger than before. Resilience is not simply about enduring hardship. It's about bouncing back, learning from the experience, and emerging with a deeper understanding of oneself. A resilient person does not give up when things get tough. Instead, they face challenges head on, refuse to stay defeated, and find the courage to keep moving forward. Every setback is viewed as an opportunity to learn and adapt. Resilience is born not in times of ease, but in the midst of struggle. It teaches people to persevere even when the road ahead seems impossible, and to keep striving toward their goals despite setbacks. Patience and wisdom through struggle. Hardships also cultivate patience. It's easy to be patient when things are going well, but true patience is developed during times of difficulty. When everything seems to be moving at a slower pace than expected, or when success seems far away, patience is tested. Those who are able to wait, trust the process, and maintain their commitment through hard times develop a deeper sense of wisdom and understanding. The wisdom gained through hardship comes not only from what is learned in the moment, but from the ability to reflect on those experiences and apply the lessons to future challenges. Each hardship carries with it a lesson about perseverance, faith, and determination. It provides a deeper understanding of life, helping people to appreciate the victories when they come and to handle future obstacles with more grace and poise. Compassion born of suffering. When a person faces hardship, it often opens their heart to the suffering of others. The empathy gained through experiencing pain or struggle allows individuals to understand what others are going through on a much deeper level. Those who have walked through fire themselves are often the first to reach out to others in need, offering a kind word, a helping hand, or a listening ear. Hardships teach people that everyone is fighting their own battle, and they instill in them a sense of solidarity with others. The compassion that grows from adversity enables individuals to build stronger, more meaningful relationships. They are more likely to help others, not out of obligation, but from a place of genuine understanding and connection. The value of strength gained through struggle. Character is not forged in comfort. It is refined through adversity. Strength, courage, and determination are the byproducts of facing challenges head-on and continuing to move forward. People who avoid hardship often miss the opportunity to build these virtues. While discomfort is unavoidable, it is through it that people develop a deeper sense of self, discovering reserves of strength they never knew they had. The adversity that tests and refines a person's character is ultimately what shapes their legacy. It is the person who has endured hardship with dignity, the one who has emerged stronger from struggle, who leaves a lasting impact. Hardships teach lessons that can only be learned through experience. Lessons that shape not just an individual's future, but the future of those around them. The transformative power of hardship. Hardships are not simply burdens to bear. They are transformative experiences that refine and shape character. While they are difficult and sometimes painful, they hold the potential to cultivate resilience, wisdom, patience, and compassion. The person who emerges from hardship is more capable, more empathetic, and more equipped to face life's challenges. Far from breaking them, hardships build them into stronger, more refined versions of themselves. The process of being shaped by adversity is essential to personal growth and lasting success. Hardships, then, are not to be feared but embraced, for they hold the power to shape individuals into the people they are meant to be. God's plan for each of us requires endurance, because the journey toward fulfillment and purpose is rarely immediate. While the vision may be clear, the path is often filled with obstacles, delays, and periods of uncertainty. The trials and challenges faced along the way are not random. They are part of a greater design, meant to strengthen, prepare, and refine. Endurance is the key to remaining steadfast and faithful through these times of testing, allowing one to continue moving forward toward the fulfillment of God's plan, even when the way seems unclear or difficult. Endurance is not about passive waiting. It is an active, persistent effort to press on despite the hardships. God's plan requires us to trust not only in the destination, but also in the process, understanding that each step, no matter how challenging, is leading us closer to what has been promised. It is easy to give up when faced with setbacks or when things don't go as expected, but the true test of faith lies in the ability to keep moving forward, trusting that God's timing is perfect and His plan is unshakable. One of the greatest tests of endurance is the waiting period. Often, God's plan requires a season of waiting for doors to open, waiting for answers, waiting for clarity. During this time, it is easy to grow frustrated or anxious. But waiting on God is never wasted time. It is in these seasons of waiting that faith is deepened and reliance on God is strengthened. Waiting forces people to let go of their own agendas and trust in the greater purpose that is unfolding behind the scenes. Endurance also requires a willingness to endure suffering. The Christian walk is not one of comfort, and God's plan does not promise an easy life. There will be moments of pain, loss, disappointment, and heartache. Yet, it is through these trials that the character of a person is refined and the relationship with God is strengthened. Suffering is not something to avoid or run from, but something that, when endured with faith, produces perseverance and ultimately leads to spiritual growth. Every trial faced is a step in the journey toward becoming who God created us to be. The pursuit of God's plan also demands endurance in relationships and community. Often, part of God's plan involves serving others, loving those who are difficult to love, or persevering through misunderstandings and conflict. Relationships require endurance because they are not always easy or straightforward. Yet through patience, forgiveness, and steadfast love, these relationships become the ground in which God's work is done in us and through us. God uses relationships to shape us, test us, and build us up. And it is in enduring through the difficulties of relationships that we grow closer to His heart. Endurance in pursuing God's plan involves consistently seeking His will, even when distractions and challenges arise. The world is full of noise and temptations that try to pull people away from their purpose. Endurance means staying focused on God's call and not being swayed by temporary pleasures or the opinions of others. It requires a constant effort to stay rooted in faith, to pray, and to align actions with His truth. This kind of endurance comes from a deep, unwavering commitment to fulfilling God's will above all else. Endurance in God's plan is also about staying faithful in small things. Many people desire big results, but the truth is that God's plan is often built on the foundation of daily faithfulness, little by little, moment by moment. Whether it's showing kindness in a difficult situation, being honest when no one is watching, or staying true to one's commitments. These small, seemingly insignificant acts of faithfulness are what build the strength and character needed for the bigger task. It is in the small moments that God prepares individuals for the greater purpose He has for their lives. When walking through trials, it is easy to forget that endurance also involves celebrating the victories along the way, however small they may seem. Every step forward, no matter how challenging, is a victory. Every time a person remains faithful despite temptation, every time they choose peace over conflict, or every time they trust in God's provision, they are growing in endurance. It is not about achieving perfection, but about faithfully walking the journey day after day, trusting that God is at work and that His plan will come to fruition in due time. God's plan requires endurance because it is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires long-term commitment, faith, and trust in His timing. Even when it seems as though the finish line is far off or the journey is too difficult, God is with you, strengthening you for the road ahead. Endurance is the pathway that leads to the fulfillment of God's promises, the deepening of your faith, and the realization of the purpose for which you were created. While the journey may be long, it is always worth it when walked with perseverance and trust in God's unchanging plan. The path to fulfilling our potential and embracing our purpose is not without its challenges, but each of these challenges holds within it an opportunity for growth. From the weight of responsibility to the endurance required to fulfill God's plan, every hardship we face refines us, builds character, and shapes the person we are meant to become. The hard choices, the sacrifices, and the struggles are not signs of defeat. They are the very building blocks of our strength, resilience, and fulfillment. Success and growth are not found in comfort, but in the willingness to face discomfort, to push through difficulties, and to endure through the trials. Endurance, in all its forms, is what allows us to stay faithful to our purpose, to trust in the process, and to remain steadfast in the face of adversity. Every decision we make, every responsibility we carry, and every hardship we endure adds to the masterpiece of who we are becoming. It is through these trials and tribulations that we come to understand the true depth of our strength, character, and capacity for love and compassion. So while the road ahead may be filled with difficulties, remember that each step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to the fulfillment of your purpose. The hardships are not in vain, the sacrifices are not wasted, and the endurance required will lead to a destiny far greater than anything that could have been achieved through ease and comfort. Embrace the journey, for it is shaping you into the person you are meant to be. And through every challenge, you are becoming more aligned with the purpose for which you are created.